Alright. What's your opinion on gun control?
There should be no gun, or there should be certain gun control, like laws that make it so only some people that. What are you doing? Wait.
Go ahead.
Alright, I think there should be no gun laws at all. They should only make it be able to have people that are old enough and have a background check to get gun laws, and just be only legal people should be able to own guns. And that's what I think about gun control.
So do you think there should be stricter or less strict laws on gun control?
There should be less strict laws on gun control.
And why?
Because even Americans that get a background check still cannot get guns easy. What's the next question?
That's all I have for you. Thank you for your time.
Alright.
Hello.
What are your opinion on gun laws?
My opinion on gun laws is I think that it's a good idea to have certain gun laws, but not crack down and make all guns illegal, because I feel like it's a human right to have, especially since we're Americans, the Second Amendment. And I think everyone should be able to have their guns for self-protection. And basically, if you look at the statistics in like Switzerland and other countries, gun laws with not as tight as America, they have the least crime rate with guns. So I mean, that shows right there.
So, do you think we should make our gun laws more strict or less strict?
It's a good question, Spencer Todd. Basically, the answer to that one, I'd have to say, is I think the background checks on gun laws should be a little more tight, so we know, who gets prescribed guns. Because I think it's a good idea that we know who has guns in America, and it's a fantastic idea to tighten down on gun laws.
So, do you think that there should be
Yes.
an extra background check for all guns that we would have to probably pay a tax on? But that would mean an extra background check, so that would mean more protection for people who buy guns. Would you agree with something like that?
More protection for people that buy guns? What do you mean?
Another background check, just like I said.
Just another background check?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
A one that goes deeper,
One that goes
for
deeper.
instance.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We don't want any mental patients or like people with disabilities buying guns.
Thank you, Spencer.
No problem, Ross.
Paige, what is your opinion on gun laws?
I think they're good how they are.
You wouldn't change one thing about them. You're happy with our rate that the guns are killing people at?
Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Number one. Number two. People are gonna hurt people no matter what. Whether it's with a gun or with a knife or a rope, they're gonna find something. So.
Do you think we should ban any assault weapons?
No.
Should we make laws about guns less strict or more strict?
A little less strict. Just a little bit.
Thank you for your time, Paige. What's your opinion on the gun laws?
On the current gun laws,
Yes.
I think that they're misguided and that they are too broad. I don't believe that we should restrict gun ownership to the law-abiding citizen anymore.
So how would you change the number of people killed by guns then?
Put bad guys in jail.
Would you make the gun laws less strict or more strict?
I wouldn't make them less strict on law-abiding citizens, and I wouldn't make them more strict on law-abiding citizens. Background checks are a good idea for everyone. Bad guys just shouldn't have guns in their hands.
So which way would you steer our current gun laws right now?
Our current gun laws, they need to be completely revamped, basically abolished, and then a program set for a background check, and you can own a gun. It's written in our Constitution.
Thank you for our time. What's your opinion on our gun laws today?
I don't get on that.
As in stricter, yes, it needs a thorough background. More background invasive, so the 10-day wait should be more extensive for psychological. If a person's in Patton Hospital and gets out when he's 18 and goes by a shotgun, 2-day wait or a single-day wait, just like the Sandy Hook and all that stuff. There should be some checks and balances based on psychological evals to prohibit gun ownership, and also ammunition. Ammunition you can make your own. You could have up to 10 pounds in California, so you can make your own and all that stuff. Now to regulate it, and it costs more money doing that. It's not a benefit to really anyone. Now for sportsmen's, like
is that yours?
like sponsorship, like when they do competition shooting and everything, 10-round clips and all that, that should be allowed. If you're doing sports and you're active in the sport, that should be allowed. And then obviously we should have gun safes that are bolted down, child safety resistant, and they should be in a locked closet so they're out of plain view. A lot of people put their safes in garages, leave the garage open, they don't bolt it down, and then it gets stolen because they leave the garage open or whatever. Now the owner should be responsible if they didn't use those safety steps, lock it and bolt it. And they should have trigger locks, at least on all the rifles. And keep the mags. I mean, you could have the loaded mags, but keep them separate in a lockbox. And then just go from there. Now, for protection, my castle rule and all the other items or other laws to help the citizen are still in effect. So, as long as someone enters your property and it's a threat to you and others and they have a weapon and you identify, you could be like that 85-year-old Kentucky grandma that shot through the door and killed the guy coming in with a knife. So,
Oh, God. That's crazy.
yeah, you'll learn a bunch of case law later. That's pretty cool. But that's the view on gun laws. Now, Sandy Hook and all the other. Now, anything, unless you're an antique collector or a collector of guns, you need to have a permit. Like the Vegas shooting, he bought the guns over time. He had over, what, 24 guns, all 30-round clips, multiple pounds of ammunition that were manufactured, not self-made. There should be checks and balances on that, especially if you buy in bulk scopes and all the stuff. And if you're not a sportsman and if you're not a hunter, there should be. And if you're just a retired guy with no mental eval, there's something that should be checked out, especially when the valet and the luggage assistant, when he's bringing up 20 bags of super heavy cases. I mean, at least it will be checked, especially at a hotel facing a concert that has 4 exits for the entire venue. So, bump stock, there's no need for that. Bump stock are to make it fully auto based on the gravity of the trigger pull. You can modify triggers to a lesser pull, the pounds. That's for sportsmen, to rapid shooting for 3-gun comps and all that stuff. that's fine because it's in the everything has a situation for its own event. So that's really what it boils down to. That guy is not a sportsman. He's just some old accountant that retired. For some vendetta against something. So I don't know. Sandy Hook and all that stuff, the shotgun and the AR that he took from his dad, the Bushmaster. Dad didn't lock it up. The son moved to the house. I think he was a foster or a stepson or something. And the keys were duplicated for the safe. So there should be always two different types of locks, a trigger lock, a lock for the ammunition, and a lock for the safe. And all that should be in a locked closet. So,
Yeah.
at least that's what I do. There's 4 different locks to even get to it.
That's crazy.
And not to mention everything is stored separate. So if I'm reloading, I'm not going to reload all into the bedroom. Last thing we need is a fire and everything explodes. So, and there should be gallons and gallons of water next to your safe if you do store ammunition. At least on top of it, probably 7 gallons on top. Because if it melts, say at 1400 degrees or whatever, the fire, once it comes down, the water will hopefully extinguish the majority of the fire around it.
My stepdad does that same thing.
Yep.
So what else do you think? What do you think should be changed, Charles? Anything?
Just more extensive background. I mean, there should be a red flag that the guy had 22 guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition with 30-round clips in the dozens. And he's not a competition shooter. He's not sponsored. He's just an old guy with a vendetta to something. So there should be, based on that, there should be red flags. Even if he bought it over a decade, the inventory should still ping his address saying, are all the guns registered to that current address, which most likely was not. A lot of family, friends, and everyone else, I guarantee their guns are not registered to the current address. Because they probably bought them years and years ago or got them inherited. Now, as a gift, they could give the gun, your dad gives a gun to you, whatever. You still should be a 10-day wait hold. You still have to pay the background, and you still have to go under the, there should be, just like a handgun safety course, there should be a rifle safety course that you actually have to practically use at the gun range to understand your gun, how to clean it and all that stuff. So, just more extensive learning, I think most.
Thank you for your time, Charles.
Sure.